It sure looks like a perfect day to do it, doesn't it, John? Dodgers and Cubs under light blue skies on a perfect afternoon for baseball, and we're glad that you're spending it with us. And Clayton Kershaw is ready to take the ball for his first start at Dodger Stadium since the end of May. Second start overall since the disabled list for him. Welcome inside. Joe Davis or Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. They win last night behind the home run again. They hit 3 of them and have now hit 51 in June, which is an historic pace. They're now 2 short of matching the franchise record for a calendar month.
They've been actually fantastic. When they do hit 3, they're 13-0. The pace they're on, yes, the franchise record is within reach, and so is the historic record for Major League Baseball. But you know what? This team continues to put quality at bat after quality at bat up. Yes, the ball is leaving the ballpark, but I continue to have confidence no matter who's in the box that they're going to have a professional at bat, and at the end, it's been pretty powerful.
Clayton Kershaw said no thanks to the AAA rehab start. Started on Saturday in New York, and it was unique, right? He was only going to go 3 innings. It wasn't going to be perfect, but he's trying to build off of what he learned from that, and he seemed to say that he felt pretty good.
Yeah, it's easier in this culture to say my starters are going to only go 3 because we have openers now on certain teams. Well, we're starting a guy that's a 7-time All-Star, 5 ERA titles, 3 Cy Youngs, and MVP, and they are glad to have him back. And he wants to really start contributing to this 2018 team as the starting pitcher, as the leader, and hopefully getting back to being the stopper.
For more on Clayton Kershaw, we go down to Alana Rizzo, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. And while this franchise has leaned on Clayton Kershaw heavily, he is just making his second start since coming off of the disabled list. So what are the realistic expectations of their ace?
I think for where he's at right now, 5-75 seems is what we're targeting. Threw the ball well, command. Wasn't where he would like it his last start, but I think that we'll expect him to be better, and I know he expects that of himself.
Another milestone for the left-hander, guys. Clayton Kershaw making his 300th start as a Dodger. He's now the 10th Dodger pitcher to do it. Also on that list, our own Oral Hershiser, number 9 with 309 starts.
All right, Alana, it's Kershaw and the Dodgers against Jose Quintana of the Cubs. The final game in a 4-game series, the last of the 7 they'll play this regular season, and it's coming up. game, 76 degrees, bright, sunny. Hey, Skip, can you get my neck? Rich Hill getting some assistance from his manager, Dave Roberts, getting that sunscreen on a beautiful day for baseball. And for Clayton Kershaw to make his return to the Dodger Stadium mound. First time since May 31st. The lineup that'll face off with in this series finale looks like this, with Albert Almora to lead things off for Joe Madden. The red-hot Javier Baez bats second. Wilson Contreras doing the catching. Anthony Rizzo, one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball against Kershaw. Addison Russell is the shortstop hitting fifth. David Bodie's at third, and right it's Happ and left it's Schwarber. So Kershaw came off the DL on Saturday against New York in 3 innings in that game. Last start that he made here was that May 31st start where he went 5 innings, but following that went on the DL with the back injury.
And Clayton has a very high bar for himself with all the awards that he's won, the way he has carried this organization throughout the years he has been in the uniform. That bar is still very high. He does not give himself a mulligan for what happened in New York. 3 innings and a couple of runs and no decision. The Dodgers won the game 8-3, but he wants to go deeper today, extend the pitch count to about 75. He'd love to take that into the 6th or 7th inning, but I think the Dodgers are looking for more like 5 or 6. And of course, he's looking for a W. He only has 1 this year.
Well, Kershaw said after that game Saturday, look, you know, rehab starts, the goal is to come out of it feeling good. And even though it was in the majors, it kind of was his rehab start. He did it instead of going to Oklahoma City because of the weather that they had expected there. Stayed with the Dodgers, made that rehab start against a major league lineup. Almora climbs in, Kershaw comes home, and off we go with strike 1. The Dodgers 17-6 in June. 27-10 since dropping 10 games below 500 in mid-May. That's in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Both those records best in the National League. And the Cubs, on the other hand, have dropped 6 of 7. They're 5-10 in their last 15. On a 1-1 pitch. That's in the dirt, 2-1. Three and 1. Almora chops it to Turner at third. And 1 away on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Kershaw's seen the Cubs a bunch throughout his career. This is his 14th start against Chicago, including a handful in the postseason, and he's always been good. 7 wins. He's got a 266. Yeah, gets ready to face the hottest hitter in this lineup in Javier Baez.
Matchup today of the starting pitchers from Game 5 of last year's NLCS. Kershaw was outstanding in Game 5, 6 innings, and did very, very well. And Quintana, who he's facing today, was the Game 5 starter. Got beat up by the Dodgers in 2 innings.
Found the corner with that one, and it's 0-2. On an 0-2, Javier Baez takes it high. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Baez has proven in this series that he can hit the high fastball.
Tries to here and sprays it foul.
If you're going to go up there to where he is liking it and swinging the bat well, you want to extend that out. Give them what they're looking for, but put it in a hard place to hit. So you'd have to go above high with him.
Kershaw deals another 1-2. Baez swings through a curve for strike 3. He had 4 punch-outs in New York on Saturday, all on breaking pitches, 2 with a slider and 2 with that curveball.
Baez hasn't seen this curveball. I still don't think he's seen it.
2 up and 2 down. And Wilson Contreras. Dodgers have taken 2 of the first 3 in this series. A tight one on Monday, 2-1 the final, which kind of held the same script as the series in Chicago last week with the low scoring. But the offenses have busted out the last 2 games. 9-4 Cubs on Tuesday, 7-5 Dodgers last night. On an 0-1 pitch, Contreras watches a curve miss low.
What I like already about Clayton Kershaw is he has a better feel for the mound and his mechanics. When he misses, he's missing down because he wants to. When he misses up, that's where he was headed. He's got a nice spray pattern working.
Cracks his bat on a flare to Logan Forsythe, and he had it all going in his first inning of work this afternoon. The Dodgers come to bat against Jose Quintana after this. To be Kike Hernandez with Taylor back, sliding to left and making the start. Turner and Kemp 3 and 4. Muncie plays first, hits 5th. Cody Bellinger's in center with Forsythe at 2nd, and Barnes the battery mate for Kershaw. Jose Quintana, 29 years old, out of Colombia, and you know, when you look big picture, rough start to the season, better last month and a half or so, but the last 2 haven't been quite as good. In fact, on Friday at Cincinnati, Orel, he gave up 4 runs on a season-high 9 hits to the Reds.
And I'm surprised he didn't give up more runs, because in that bandbox there, the ball, if it was in the air with the correct launch angle, it would have left the yard. But his main problem has been getting ahead in the count. And if he doesn't get ahead in the count, he's been walking people. And if he doesn't walk them, that's when the hitters really pick on him. He has a huge differential of ahead in the count pitches compared to behind in the count pitches.
Gets ready to face Chris Taylor, who's making his first start in more than a week with that hamstring healed up. Goes after the first one and bangs a bullet down the line. Taylor wasting no time, putting his stamp on things. Back in the starting lineup with a first pitch double.
In some ways, like a part-time player getting a chance to start for Chris Taylor, been just used as a pinch hitter because of his hamstring, and flourished there. And now starting at the top of the order, the first pitch he sees as he's back in the starting lineup. Nice double.
Getting the guy that filled in so well for him to the plate, Kike Hernandez. And Kike, what he did in that run of playing time, making 7 consecutive starts with Taylor out, is probably going to earn him a larger role moving forward. He swings at the first pitch, and it's short. Addison Russell throws him out.
Aggressive but headsy base running there at second base from Chris Taylor.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
Pretty clear what the approach is going to be against Jose Quintana today.
Attack him early, and Chris Taylor, you try to get to the other side of that ground ball, but he read the speed and the angle correctly and got back.
1 on 1 out. Here's Turner. Reached 4 times in last night's game. The 2 singles, walked, and was hit by a pitch. First full season with the Cubs for Quintana. Over in a deadline deal from the White Sox last year, and pitched well during the regular season. Pitched well in game 1 of the championship series against the Dodgers, but got lit up in the decisive game 5. Dodgers got 6 runs and chased him after 2 innings. Got crossed up here, Contreras did, but keeps it in the vicinity.
Signs have gotten more complicated this year. So many clubs really relaying signs from second base with their runner as they reel it into the hitter. So pitcher catcher signs have gotten a little more complicated. Sometimes you're not on the same page.
You said it was relatively simple when you were playing.
There was a lot. I used pretty complicated signs because I didn't trust anybody. My conspiracy theory.
Yeah, manifested that way then, huh?
I was eyeballing third base coaches and first base coaches if they weren't in the box and looking into my catcher. I was eyeballing the guy in second. We were changing signs all the time. But you're right. In general, a lot simpler in those days.
Quintana to Turner, low for ball 2. Is that because guys weren't trying as hard to steal the signs? Is that because you, as a league, weren't as paranoid yet?
I think they were still trying to steal them, but I think that they just weren't thinking on that level that it was as important. It was really important, but it just, nowadays, it just seems like everything is about data, and that's the ultimate data to know what's coming.
And when it's a race for information across baseball at this point, every club is looking for that next little thing, because every club has access to all this information. It's no longer there's a couple teams ahead of the pack in that regard. So what little advantage can you find? On a 2-1, Turner takes ball 3. Well, updating the situation for you in the division. Diamondbacks have won again against Miami. That's now 7 of 8. So the Dodgers again trail by 3. On a 3-1, Turner takes a curve for a strike, full count. At Kemp, after a suspension yesterday, back in there hitting cleanup today. Three-two pitch. Turner hits it down the line, foul.
Suspension to Matt Kemp hurts in the salary column a little bit, but really like a scheduled off day. Day game after a night game, so you took the night game off. Right-handed starter yesterday, lefty today. Kind of right in rhythm with what Dave Roberts would want to do.
On another payoff, Turner takes it low and in for ball 4. 2 on with 1 out against Quintana as the Dodgers try to put up some production in the first inning for the second day in a row. 3 in the first and 3 in the second, keying yesterday's win. Yeah, the other reason that yesterday worked out pretty well, relatively speaking, for Kemp to serve the suspension is that he has gone into the biggest rut of the year for him. 2 for his last 26. First and second with 1 out. On the first one from Quintana, he hits a line drive to left field that Kyle Schwarber makes the catch on 2 away. Up comes Max Muncie with 2 out, putting together a heck of a month of June, really putting together a great season overall, leading the National League in on-base plus slugging.
The season overall, yes, but this month he will look back on it and think, this is where I really started to launch my career as a Dodger, as a major leaguer, where his confidence and his security in that he is a big leaguer really came to fruition.
Hit another home run yesterday, 9th here in June. Takes a first pitch curve for ball 1. Lots of home runs, lots of walks. Dodgers trying to take advantage of Taylor's leadoff double. Muncie looks at this curve, finishing in the zone for a strike. 1-1.
When Quintana is in trouble, he's going to pull the trigger on that curveball. That is the only pitch that he throws that the league is hitting below 200.
But he's getting way fewer swings and misses than he typically does with it.
I thought the walk to Justin Turner was a little bit of a strategic walk. He has shown kind of sporadic command this inning. But to set up the double play, and Justin had a nice day yesterday, and Matt Kemp has been in a slump.
Here comes a 2-1. Muncie takes it low and away. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mentioned the sporadic command. He has one of the highest walk rates in the National League. And facing a guy with always an elite walk rate in Max Muncie. Here he comes with a 3-1. Muncie looks at a strike. So the runners will be moving with 2 gone and a full count pitch coming. There they go. Here it comes. Ball 4, bases loaded. Second walk of the inning, loads the bases and loads them for the red-hot Cody Bellinger. Another home run last night, his 4th over his last 6, which is a 6-game hitting streak for him, matching a career best.
Line drive after line drive, and when he slightly gets under it, it's leaving the ballpark, showing power to all fields lately.
Takes a fastball for strike 1. That home run that he hit last night, a little bit to the left of center. You don't miss hit him there. You don't run into one and put it there.
Cubs a little mixed up on what to throw right here, because Bellinger took a fastball down on the inner half, they'd be like, what's going on? Is he sitting on the breaking ball?
On an 0-1 pitch, takes a fastball away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned that Quintana's breaking ball's not getting swung and missed at as much. Well, if he throws one in there for a nice basic strike, that's the one that Cody could really hammer.
See what he goes to on 1-1. 6 with a fastball, misses.
He's kind of flinching with his fastball. Seems like he's getting right to the end of his delivery, not trusting it, and pulling it right out of the strike zone. The few that are for strikes are kind of right there in the middle of the plate, flat.
Second day in a row, the Dodgers have really made the Cubs starter work in the first inning. Trying to cash in for the second day in a row. Bases loaded, 2 gone, and a 2-1 that Bellinger rolls to second. Javier Baez will throw him out, and the Dodgers leave the bases loaded in the first. Homestand tomorrow. The Dodgers stay here, welcoming the Rockies over the weekend. And today it's Clayton Kershaw facing the Cubs in his second start off of the DL, and a very efficient 1-2-3 first to get his day going.
Curveball was thrown 3 times. I love the sharp break on it. Only 1 for a strike, but that got him a strikeout. The other ones were solid in the slider. 2 for 2 for strikes. So the off-speed stuff is working, and the fastball command is coming along.
The man that he'll see to lead off this inning, Anthony Rizzo. You saw some of the numbers there. Those are some of the best numbers for any left-handed hitter against Kershaw. And Rizzo takes ball 1. Although he's been struggling lately. First day out of the starting lineup since the beginning of June last night. Came off of the bench, popped out against Jansen in the 9th. Takes a high strike, 1-1. Slider to the inside corner, 1-2. Rizzo spanks one into right, base hit. He's going to head to second, testing Kemp's arm. Bad idea. Rizzo tried to turn a single into a double, and Matt Kemp did his best Yasiel Puig impression in right and threw him out.
A short night for everybody in this game, and especially shorter for older players, but Matt Kemp showing some fresh legs out there, rounding that one off with a good charge to his right and a very accurate throw to pin down Rizzo at second.
I think getting to sit on his couch probably helped that last night.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet you he got to bed at about the same time, though.
Ball one on Russell. Yeah, hard to just change that body clock, right?
Yeah, and he probably stayed up and watched the game and then just hang out after. You're right. But yeah, probably a little bit calmer, able to go to sleep compared to hitting a pinch hit grand slam or something and trying to go to sleep.
Ball on a strike on Addison Russell. Having a good series for the Cubs at 4 for 10. Swinging and missing here at a curve. Tried to backdoor him with a slider, but it was off of the plate, and it evens the count. Two out.
Morongo slow-mo cam, try and slow down the slow curve ball of Clayton Kershaw. Outstanding sharp break. If people are worried about how his back feels, that's probably the hardest pitch on your back because you have to hold on to it a long time to get it down there and spin it.
A 2 out. David Bodie facing Kershaw for the first time in his career takes ball one. And the DL stint for the back injury. That's the third straight year that he's had a back injury put him on the DL. And so each time you worry about it when it's a recurring thing like that. Particularly encouraging that he was able to come back as quickly as he did this time and feel as good as he did following those 3 innings on Saturday. Because as you said, it's one thing to come back quickly. It's another thing for that to, in hindsight, be smart and have him come out of it feeling good.
And the part about being smart is not does it feel good, but does it have the endurance to make it through 55, now 75 pitches hopefully today, and then build up to 100. And that's the key. When you give it the work, are you giving it at the level that the inflammation or whatever they're dealing with doesn't come back?
Here he comes with a 2-2 to Bodie. Soft bouncing ball past his extended glove. Chris Taylor can't pick it up cleanly, and Bodie's aboard on a 2-out error.
When Chris Taylor started to come into shortstop, when Corey Seager went down, he talked about getting used to being back at shortstop. Well, he gets hurt, has to take a few days off, and then resting that hamstring, you get back out there to play some defense. Sometimes it takes a few days to start to feel comfortable again.
Getting kept alive for Ian Happ. He's been on base 12 of his last 20 times up. Strike one. Able to lay off the curve, and the count evens up. On Ian Happ, just 23 years old. Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, then went to Cincinnati for college ball. Cubs drafted him 9th overall a few years back. Obviously a good athlete to be playing in Major League Baseball, but Joe Madden says what stands out about Ian Happ is that he's got a gifted mind, really advanced in the way that he thinks the game, high emotional toughness, emotional IQ. Keeps him from getting too high or too low. Cuts on a fastball, misses 1-2. On a 1-2 pitch. Happ looks at strike 3 down the middle. He got a slider and was thinking something else. And Kershaw has 3 Ks over his first 2 this afternoon.
Ballpark app, access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much, much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
What a great day to be out here, huh? High 70s temperature, light blue skies above. Rematch of the last 2 championship series. Logan Forsythe starting the second by taking strike 1 from Jose Quintana.
Series is 3-3. This is game 7.
That's it. That's buckled down.
Let's go. Dodgers win this one. They'll have won 11 of the last 13 series. The only one they dropped was to the Cubs at Wrigley.
Tie sprinkled in there with Philly. Logan Forsythe trying to get it going. 0 for his last 15. 7 strikeouts in that span. And when he has put it in play, contact has not been hard.
We've seen weaker contact to the right side and strong, firm contact when he pulls the ball.
During this stretch, he's not pulling it.
Nope. And he's kind of in between on how he reads a strike and a ball. Normally an unbelievably good eye.
On a 1-2 pitch, he fouls it off Contreras and stays alive. Maybe today's the day for him to get right because he's facing a guy that he has owned. 5 for 11 in the regular season against Jose Quintana with a home run and 3 doubles. Most of that coming when they were both in the American League. Quintana with the White Sox, Forsythe with the Rays. He watches this one miss low and the count evens 2-2. Barnes and Kershaw to follow. No score, second inning. Two, 1 out. First strikeout of the game for Quintana comes on that curveball, which was his big strikeout pitch when he was getting more strikeouts at an earlier point in his career.
So far, that's the only pitch he really has. The fastball's been pretty much 50-50, and the Dodgers aren't swinging and missing at it at all.
Here's Barnes. First pitch curve lands for a strike. Quintana's 29 years of age. He's in his 7th year in the major leagues. Back-to-back curves to get back-to-back strikes. First 5.5 seasons were with the White Sox. It was actually with 2 other teams before he debuted. Barnes pulls a base hit past a diving Russell. 1-out single for Austin Barnes. And Kershaw up in a bunt situation. And Quintana signed when he was 17 with the New York Mets. That was back in 2006. He pitched in 3 games that first year. Missed the entire next year serving a minor league drug suspension. And the Mets said, you know, you've made 3 appearances for us. We're not going to deal with that. Cut him loose. So he goes right back to the drawing board trying to find a team again. After, you know, fulfilling a lifelong dream, signing a pro contract. The Yankees saw him, liked what they saw. They offered him a contract the year later. But they released him 3 years after that. Kershaw takes ball 1. So he's 5 years into his pro career now. He's been released twice. A few days after that, signs a minor league contract with the White Sox. That was in the fall of 2011. He made his major league debut the next year and has beaten the odds, becoming a very good major league pitcher. Falls behind Kershaw 2-0.
Bodie down there at third is really pinching in. You saw Clayton on the last pitch pull the bunt back. He definitely can handle it well enough to slap it over there to third base.
Pulls it back again and takes ball 3.
Between the threat of him pulling it back and slapping and Quintana's command on his fastball, it has been a very good equation here now to possibly work a walk. It's a distraction for a pitcher, especially somebody struggling with their control.
See if he can find it on 3-0. Nope. 4-pitch walk to the opposing pitcher, who's trying to give up an out. Third free pass already for Jose Quintana. And this never previously was really an issue for him over his first 6 years. The walk rate has almost doubled here in 2018. And back to the top for Chris Taylor.
Taylor can probably sit on first pitch breaking ball. He swatted a fastball, so who knows if Quintana would have any kind of confidence in that, number 1.
Does go to a first pitch curve, and Taylor was ready for it, but it was located well, and it's strike 1.
Quintana's curveball, even though he is commanding it today, it's got a lot of roll in it. We saw it Austin Barnes. He got 3 in a row. The third one was pretty solid location, but he barreled it up easy.
Two on, 1 out, 0-1 inside, 1-1. Here's another chance 0 for the Dodgers with men on. And you go back to the middle innings last night, they're 0 for their last 16 with men on base. Runner takes off. Barnes safe at third. David Bodie wants him to take a look. For now, Barnes has stolen third off of Contreras and Quintana.
He goes because of the walking lead. Look, he continues to have confidence in the way they were positioning their infielders as far as the defense. All he had to do was continue to check the second baseman with his peripheral vision. Ball arrives in time, but I'm not sure the tag got down there in time.
It's amazing the ball arrived on time with the kind of walking lead he had. Second steal of the season for Barnes. First and third with one out. The 1-2. Curve got him swinging. Big strikeout for Jose Quintana.
Number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Chris Taylor in his vision could see when Boston Barnes was stealing third, so he gave up a strike to get Austin to third. Took himself down to one pitch. Just happened to chase that curveball in the dirt.
So it's up to Kike Hernandez. Grounded the first pitch that he saw to short. The famous 3-home run game for Kike in Game 5 of the championship series last year. The first of those 3 came against Quintana. The Dodgers plated 6 runs in the first 2 innings against him. Swatted the other way for a base hit and a lead for the Dodgers in the second. Kike Hernandez with a 2-out RBI single, and it's 1-0.
Everybody loves the long ball, but take a look at the Volkswagen replay. This is a hit with a runner in scoring position, and that is something the Dodgers have longed for and longed to get better at. Between hitting with runners in scoring position, if they start to improve in that area and the long ball, this offense could be a juggernaut.
And I think long term, we talk a little bit about the home run reliance. They're going to hit home runs. It becomes homer reliant when you don't hit with runners in scoring position. That's strike one on Justin Turner. And so it is what it is as far as the homers. They may not keep up this June pace, but they're going to hit a bunch. The question will be, can they kind of level off the roller coaster they've been on with men on base, with runners in scoring position? 0-2. Ball one. Turner pops it back of first with the bright sunshine. Won't be easy, but Baez helps out Rizzo, making the catch and ending the inning. But the Dodgers break through, and after 2, they lead at 1-0. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Typically beautiful Southern California afternoon where the Dodgers and Cubs are playing Game 4 this series. The Dodgers trying to take 3 of 4 from the Cubs and make it 18-6 here in June. Oral Hershiser, Joe Davis, Solano Rizzo, and Clayton Kershaw back out there.
Clayton looks free and easy. You continue to watch people and scout them at different times. Everybody, of course, watches the results on the field, but in between innings, watching him warm up, watching him jog out to the mound, jog off the mound, field his position, a lot of different places where you can see how healthy he's feeling.
Now that start here, Oral, on May 31st, when he went 5 innings, it was his first start since missing a month with biceps tendonitis. It made sense when after the game they said he was going back on the DL, this time with a back injury. So he misses with his first one to Kyle Schwarber because he didn't look like Clayton Kershaw that day.
And that is a very high bar to look like Clayton Kershaw, but you know what? He is such a competitor. He'll go out there with those aches and pains and try and compete.
Base hit to right to lead off the third for Kyle Schwarber.
2 left-handed hitters and 2 fastball hits, Rizzo and Schwarber. And that is a story so far in 2018 with Clayton. It's about the only dent in his armor is the fact that those lefties are picking on his fastball.
Quintana hitless this year. Yeah, first time in his career he's had reverse splits, and they are drastically reversed. Bunted in the air, foul, strike 1. Reverse splits just means that typically left-handed pitchers supposed to be better against left-handed hitters. But his the other way around this year.
As far as the left-on-left situation with the fastball starting pitchers, Clayton is in the bottom 4. Lefties on his fastball are hitting over 300.
Ahead of Quintana 0-2.
You see the batting average of lefties, and it's really not on the slider or the curveball that average has been elevated. It is the fastball effectiveness that they've gotten him on, and the 2 lefties today have gotten hits on the fastball.
Well, Kershaw was trying to bunt against Quintana in the bottom of the second. Quintana walked him on 4 pitches. Kershaw here ahead of him 1-2. Well, looks like he'll still give it a try even with 2 strikes.
Quintana without a hit this year, so you can really pinch in the defense.
Oh, he is going to swing away.
Well, the pitch prior, they really came in, and it looked like the Dodgers actually felt like they took the bunt off. Maybe they've picked up their signs. Justin Turner and Max Muncie hung back on that last pitch.
Curveball bounced back to Kershaw. He'll go to second for 1 and to first, a double play. Even with a bit of a juggle from Kershaw in the exchange, they still turn 1-6-3.
Clayton Kershaw makes this double play with the juggle, yes, but he charges the ball. It's a little chopper back to him. He doesn't relax. See how he comes in with those couple steps to get off of the mound and get to the ball quicker. And that little bit of him charging makes up for the half a step at first base. They would have got him by a step and a half without the juggle, but they don't get a double play without him charging that ball.
And I guess it's probably not even totally correct for me to call that a juggle. It's almost like you're saying he's adjusting while he was getting himself to the flat ground. Knew what kind of time he had, and that internal clock paid off. Drops out of the sky for strike 1 on Almora.
Most pitchers default to the most conservative play there, but Clayton takes it to the highest level in everything that he does.
High fly ball, deep left center. Hernandez drifting back with room. And Kershaw's faced one more than the minimum through 3 shutout innings. Here in the third, just 9 pitches. Performance spotlight. The Dodgers have 3 of the top 7 home run hitters in baseball here in June. Peterson tied for the major league lead with his 10, and Muncie and Bellinger not far behind.
Beginning of the year, you thought the 3 pictures there would be Seager, Turner, Bellinger. Jock Peterson and Max Muncie slid right in there.
Muncie will bat second in this inning after Matt Kemp leads it off against Jose Quintana. 0-1. 51 home runs this month. 2 shy of the franchise record set last June. 7 shy of the all-time record for a calendar month. Kemp gets under it. Shallow center. Almora.
Number 13, Max Muncie.
So up comes Muncie. Really great article on The Athletic the other day from Pedro Mora about Max Muncie and his parents who were in New York. So Pedro had a chance to visit with them, Lee and Midge. Max grew up watching the Houston Astros, and he'd stand in front of the TV and emulate all the swings, all the stances. Swings away here, sends an opposite field fly ball. Schwarber turns. Muncie's done it again. Number 17 for Mad Max. Now it's kind of gone to the point where you're shaking your head, not because who is this guy, but you're shaking your head even if it's Babe Ruth doing this, because it's like every single night. Strike one on Bellinger.
My reaction exactly, and now I'm thinking how many Dodger fans are in front of the TV right now mimicking Max Muncie's swing.
More and more every day, Laurel.
For sure.
His favorite one to do is Jeff Bagwell. That seated stance, obviously a very distinct one. Bellinger down with a fastball, 2 out. And Max actually channeled some of that stance. You're talking about the turnaround last year, the little tweaks he and his dad made between his time in Oakland and his time with the Dodgers. But he channeled some of that strong lower half, and you can picture Jeff Bagwell sitting down into his stance. Max wanted a stronger base, support for more power. And so put to use those reps as a kid in front of the TV in the living room. Ball one on Logan Forsythe. Can you see a little bit of the Bagwell in him?
I do. You know, Jeff Bagwell was so strong that he didn't even use any forward momentum. He just kind of sat down and used the ground as his base as far as staying connected to it. Kind of like an industrial spring that you secure at the bottom and then you wind to the top, and then when you let go, there's tons of power. So staying connected to the ground so that your hips and your shoulders, as they torque, that goes into the bat speed and the power.
Forsythe grounds one inside the bag. A diving play by Bodie to get him. And the slump has reached the point where he's hitting it hard, but poor luck. Max Muncie, for the second day in a row, leaves the building, number 17, to lead the team.
Clayton Kershaw, a 2-0 lead as we make our way to the top of the fourth inning. Time now for Hats Off for Heroes, presented by T-Mobile. We focus on longtime Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodger Gil Hodges. The Marine veteran made his major league debut back in October of 1943, of course with the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time, but he wasn't up there for very long because 11 days later he began his military service, serving in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Back to baseball, won 2 World Series in '55 and '59, and he was an 8-time All-Star.
Strike one on Javier Baez. Gil Hodges was on the ground with the Marines in the assault on Okinawa, 1945. Back in spring training the next year. Kershaw delivers. Baez pulls a curve in the air to left center field that will split the gap. Bang off the wall. Another extra base hit for Javier Baez. In this series, the season series, is 12 for 23 with 8 extra base hits.
Little out in front, and Clayton Kershaw does a nice job throwing him a borderline strike. You definitely don't want to throw this guy anything near the middle of the plate right now. Baez reached for it and still found the gap.
So the leadoff man in scoring position, and Wilson Contreras stands in. First pitch curve at the knees, strike one. This has been a frustrating couple months for Clayton Kershaw. Nobody loves to compete more than him. And when you just simply can't because of the injuries, that's maddening for a guy like him, a guy that's wired the way that he is. Misses here, 1-1.
So admire his intensity. He's a great teammate. Some guys will disappear when they go on the DL. He is there with the guys every single day, putting his work in and then his encouragement in for his teammates.
Pop to left field. Hernandez coming on to catch it. 1 out. Of course, that well publicized at this point, 8 or 9 hours on the airplane Sunday afternoon after the game in Washington. That could be a tough thing on a back, but Kershaw was doing his best to keep moving. And the bummer for him was that he downloaded one movie, figured that'd get him through the 4.5, 5 hour flight, you know, a movie and a nap. Well, they burnt the movie while the team was still on the ground and didn't have anything to do for the actual flight. Rizzo takes ball 1. Kike have 2 sets of glasses, huh?
Oh, he's got the style and the useful ones.
Is that what it is?
Or depending on how bright it is, he goes with one or the other.
Lefty righty thing. 1-1. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really shifting in brightness though, because there's no clouds.
Well, we all know Kike, and he will have a very logical answer. That was sarcastic.
He'll definitely have an answer.
Yeah.
Rizzo singled his first time. Here he grounds one gently into the shift. It's cut off by Chris Taylor. Baez to third, 2 out.
Clayton Kershaw, the last 3 innings, has pitched around some traffic. 1, 2, 3 in the first, but you see the pitches by inning. He's been very efficient, but the leadoff hitter has gotten on the last 3 innings.
And the number that he told Alana Rizzo today, 5 innings, 75 pitches. So within range of that. 2-0 Dodgers, 4th inning, and Addison Russell stands in. Kershaw through the back door with a slider. So far shutting out an offense that had come alive the last 2 days. 14 runs in the last 2 games for the Cubs. They had averaged less than 3 per game over the previous 2 weeks. Russell takes a ball. Ground ball, base hit, 2-1. Russell with a 2-out single to score Baez, and the Cubs take advantage of the leadoff double.
Whether the leadoff hitter of an inning gets on by walk or base hit or any way, it is hard to continually pitch around something with 3 outs still left to go, and so the Cubs finally break through.
Kershaw to David Bodie. Strike 1.
Bodie not the everyday third baseman, but he sure has flashed some nice leather in this series.
Yeah.
Range to his right last night, threw a ball from foul territory to get Justin Turner at home.
Watches a curve fall in for strike 2.
Nice play on Logan Forsythe to end the last inning.
He's in there because Chris Bryant is on the DL.
Minor shoulder, huh?
Yeah. Get out of my brain, Hershiser.
It's a really bad shoulder when we both talk about it at the same time.
Kershaw to the plate 0-2 with a fastball to strike him out. Fourth K through 4 innings for Kershaw, but the Cubs crack through with a 2-out hit from Addison Russell. Host the Rockies, and the first 12,000 kids 14 and under get to take home a Junior Dodgers Justin Turner jersey tee, courtesy of 99-cents only stores. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. It's a great homestand rolling on right now, finishing up 4 with the Cubs, 3 with the Rockies over the weekend, and 3 with the Pirates next week. Quintana to Barnes, strike 1. We've mentioned it a few times, but the last 2 games of that Pirates series, not just July 4th, but July 3rd as well, post-game fireworks. Barnes is 2 for 2. Good to see his bat getting some life.
2 hard hit balls, hard ground ball in the first at bat through the 6th hole, and here a line drive to center, both on curve balls. Timing it up well.
Kershaw was up with Barnes at first his last time, and was up there to bunt, but Quintana walked him on 4 pitches. Here he lays the first one down, and it moves Barnes into scoring position. Almost does more than that, but Baez having to adjust to catch it.
The difference in the 2 pitchers, Clayton Kershaw getting the bunt down, Quintana not electing to go to second base, doing the conservative thing that most pitchers do. He's got a chance at second. He just defaults to throwing at the first and almost throws it away.
So Kershaw moves Barnes into scoring position and brings up Chris Taylor. Doubled on the first pitch of the day and then struck out. He's 5 for 8 against Jose Quintana. Pinpoint for strike 1.
3rd time around the order for the Dodgers already here with only 1 out in the 4th.
A little bit like yesterday. Taylor smacks an elevated pitch to right that he and Hack will flag down.
All these Dodgers reaching base and all the traffic that Quintana's having to pitch through makes it tough on Joe Madden. The league's at 227 first time around on the plate appearance. Then he's done really well. Quintana's second time, 176, but the third time around, the league's almost hitting 400 off of him.
Really, we've now touched on the two big issues with Quintana this year, the erratic control and the third time through.
Melded the first two times through the order together, and that's pretty solid below 200. But the third time they are starting to pick on either he's fatiguing a little bit and the ball's elevated, or they're starting to read the spin on his pitches, the differential between the fastball and the curveball.
2-out chance for Hernandez, who delivered with one of these his first time up. Knocking an RBI single to right. Nice pitch for strike one. And it is splits like that for Quintana. It's pretty standard across baseball. You see most guys' numbers much worse third time through the order. That's kind of the foundation to what you're seeing now with more aggressive managing and earlier work from the bullpen. Basic idea is that you'd rather have a fresh, hard-throwing reliever face a part of the order instead of a tiring starter third time through.
The statistical breakdown actually goes to, like, it could be when it first started to happen, it could be the 10th guy, 11th guy on your staff. He would be better than the starter. And now, realizing the differential in a roster between should I have that extra bench player, somebody who could play utility or a great pinch hitter, or would I rather have the extra arm in the bullpen, or two even playing with a short bench? Roster configuration now is deeper bullpen, shorter bench.
Quintana to Hernandez 1-2, and Kike strokes a fly ball to right center field. Now Mora on the move. He's not going to get there. It's up against the wall. A 2-out RBI double for Kike Hernandez.
Hit with a runner in scoring position. Kike knows he didn't get it all. He watches it and he's like, okay, day game maybe? No, I don't think so. But the nice thing about this for Kike is the spin he put on it, which made it slice into the right center gap. Too much range with that ball to capture it.
And his hot hitting continues. .350 over the last 16 games. 2 out for Justin Turner. Fouls the first pitch back. We're talking after Hernandez's first at bat about what he's done lately in Taylor's absence, probably meaning more playing time. That's not necessarily going to come at Chris Taylor's expense. What it's going to do is just force Dave Roberts to find ways to get him in.
And today it was Yasiel Puig getting a day off. Matt Kemp moving over to right field.
Turner gets plunked. Second time in this series.
Quintana getting hit around, wanting to come fastball in, not that far, but not on purpose. He has just been so bad with his control. Not wanting to miss over the middle of the plate, so makes the mistake too far in.
Yeah, just wrapping up that discussion about Kike Hernandez. The good thing is Dave Roberts at this point is very experienced at finding opportunities for guys with this roster. You discussed roster construction earlier. It's constructed so he has to be, with so many moving parts to it. Strike one on Matt Kemp. And so many examples of guys when given opportunities kind of forcing his hand. Look at Max Muncie, for example.
And it's a little different equation with Kike Hernandez, because with Max Muncie, it was like, do you think he's going to be good enough to play at second base? Chris Woodward, work with him, please. How about third base? How's he doing over at first? And but they had to take the risk on the glove and the defense because the bat was so good and the Dodger offense needed it. With Kike, you put him anywhere, he's going to be exceptional.
Ball on his strike. The long-term thing that it does, that flexibility and Dave Roberts' willingness to find guys spots. The other side of that is the days of rest and what that means in a long season. Kemp plays off 2-1. Between these two teams, Dave Roberts, Joe Madden, these are probably the two teams that embrace that most. Ever evolving lineups, ever evolving defensive groups. And the hope is that at the end of the year, you're a little bit more rested than a team who's running the same guys out there 140 times or whatever it may be. Kemp lines out to third. Bodie stabs it. And the inning is over. But the Dodgers get one more. Hernandez drives in his second run of the day. And after 4, it's 3-1. Brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Back at Dodger Stadium, 3-1. Dodgers in front as we go to the 5th.
Clayton got that insurance run back. Trying to keep the leadoff hitter off the bases. That has been something the Cubs have been able to do all but one inning, the first.
Ian Happ leading off this inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom third of the order for these Cubs. That curve misses just up, says Alan Porter. So it goes back to the fastball. It's hit along third and 2-2. Something we've not talked about yet is we may see piggybacking Clayton Kershaw today. Walker Buehler has been activated off of the disabled list. And a bit of a surprise. It was first reported that he'd head to Oklahoma City to make a rehab outing, and that Caleb Ferguson would be the man to piggyback Kershaw today. But instead of the rehab outing, Walker Buehler going to stay here and pitch out of the bullpen in this one. Full count.
They're going to try and get Walker Buehler a fresh inning. So when Clayton nears his pitch count, or the eye test tells him that they're getting close to taking him out, you might see somebody come in and get an out or two to get to the next inning where Walker Buehler will start the inning.
Payoff. 1 out.
Celebrate Independence Day at Dodger Stadium when the boys in blue meet the Pittsburgh Pirates. Enjoy holiday fireworks on July 3rd and return the next day to enjoy the best fireworks show in town on July 4th. Both courtesy of Budweiser. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
A little breezy way up top today. Judging by the big flags in center, looks like kind of left to right. Kyle Schwarber, strike one.
Flags are pretty true here at Dodger Stadium. With such a large opening over the top of the pavilion, there's not a lot of swirling that goes on. What the flags say is pretty much what the wind is doing.
Where's the worst place for that?
Where it's almost the opposite.
Yeah. Or you just have no idea.
Well, in my day, I would have to go back to Candlestick. I'd check the fielders every day, even had signals with them during an inning. If an inning started where I needed to pitch against strength, but I had a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing into from left, I would go ahead and tell Matt Williams and Jeff Leonard and all those powerful guys, go ahead and try and hit it out the left.
And different ballpark, but same story now. You ask guys around the league, where's the worst spot? San Francisco, AT&T Park. Can't judge any of those flags. Outfielders will tell you. On a 2-2 to Schwarber. Gets him badly with a curve. Schwarber couldn't lay off. Barnes throws him out, 2 away.
Left-handers and fastballs, something that Clayton wants to improve on. So what do they get? Public enemy number 1, the curveball to Schwarber, and that puts him away.
Quintana to hit for himself. Strike one. 5 of the 6 strikeouts for Kershaw in this game have come on that curve. One and one.
2/3 of Clayton's pitches have been strikes, so he is commanding the baseball the way he wants to. Even when he's missed, he's missing in good areas.
Just want to correct that. 3 curves, 2 sliders for those strikeouts. 5 of the 6 on breaking balls. Tapper from Quintana. 1-2-3 5th for Kershaw. Halfway home in a 3-1 game. Plan today was 5 innings, 75 pitches. Kershaw threw 5 innings at 68 pitches and getting a good job from Dave Roberts. Looks like he'll turn it over to Walker Buehler for the 6th.
It's going to be exciting to see Walker, and it has been great to see Clayton come through his rehab outing in New York and now a really fine outing here against the Cubs. The staff is getting healthier and healthier.
Making for some potentially interesting decisions as far as who stays in the rotation, who goes to the bullpen, how they manage the depth that they'll have as far as starting pitching. Dodgers 3, Cubs 1, bottom of the 5th, and Max Muncie to lead things off. We look at our Carl's camp, his home run, number 17 of the year, to lead the club back in the 3rd.
Well, Max Muncie continues to impress us, but now the expectations are getting higher that this is going to be a powerful bat in the middle of the Dodger lineup. I don't care who's on the mound, left-handed starter, right-handed starter.
Lefty Quintana winds and deals, and Muncie takes a strike. Fewest at-bats per home run in the majors. They have 3 of the top 5 here in June. Muncie homering once every 7 ABs. Jack Peterson once every 5.5.
Oh, and guess what? They'll both take their walks.
Same with Bellinger. Didn't miss by much. Muncie stays alive at 1 and 2. That one gets him, and he knew it. 4th of the day for Quintana. 1 away in the 5th. And when he looks at Cody Bellinger, he thinks that's what I could have been. Because Jose Quintana, before he was ever a pitcher, was a center fielder and a first baseman. Didn't begin pitching home in Colombia until he was 15. And then 2 years after that, he had signed a pro contract as a pitcher. Bellinger swings at the first pitch and slices a fly ball to Schwarber. 2 up and 2 down. Well, for Forsythe, his last time up, it evolved from a slump with not much solid contact to a very frustrating slump. When is it going to end for me? Hit a ball hard down the line. Great play by David Bodie at 3rd, robbed him of a hit, and he is now 0 for his last 17. To right field, Ian Happ. Inning over to the 6th, 3-1. Kershaw's line on our inside the box score from Kona. 5 innings, he gives up just 1 run and strikes out 6.
And with men on base, he got tougher. 1 for 8 with runners on. The breaking ball, both the curveball and the slider were outstanding. And he finished very, very strong. 3 of the last 4 outs were strikeouts.
How about this transition? Clayton Kershaw to Walker Buehler out of the bullpen.
It's absolutely amazing to see this young man back. He proved how tough he was, taking that ball to the ribs, having some micro fractures, but before they were discovered, he was pitching with them.
Top of the order, Albert Almora looks at ball 1. And so we were discussing it a little bit at the start of last inning, but the Dodgers suddenly find themselves with more pitchers than they have room for in a traditional starting rotation. Almora turns on the first pitch that he sees and deposits it into the pavilion. Second pitch, beg your pardon, but a 3-2 game.
Second baseman, Heyward.
Fastball away, runs all the way back across the plate, and 97 is just tip your hat. You can hit that. The ball was tailing and running. The only thing about ones that are tailing, it kind of stays on the barrel a little longer.
Now Baez down the line to right. Matt Kemp positioned well to catch it. 1 out.
Catcher Wilson Contreras.
He had 4/5 of the season opening rotation on the disabled list at one point. And then Buehler, who was one of the replacements because of that, he went on the disabled list. He's back. Kent is back. Rich Hill's back. Kershaw's back. Ryu's still coming. Urias could come at some point. Contreras takes ball 1. It's a good problem to have.
Oh, it's sure good. You know, you don't hear anybody say, oh, we've got too much pitching. Too much exceptional pitching is not a problem either. But, you know, during this 27-10 run that the Dodgers have been on since May 17th, the original 5 starters, they only have 7 wins. Ross Stripling has 6. So it's pretty special. You know where the rest of the wins coming from? Mostly the bullpen. They've got 12. So it has been a team effort along with Ross Stripling. The guy on the mound now coming in as a reliever. He has a couple. He was a starter in that time.
Contreras with a base hit to center. Some loud contact against Walker Buehler.
When you first come back off the DL, it sometimes mimics those rookie adrenaline nerves, and you are a little bit more of a thrower than a pitcher, and that will subside, and he'll get back to where we saw him on his learning curve, really making pitches and not worrying about velocity.
3-2 game in the 6th. Tying run on. Anthony Rizzo up. Buehler comes home and misses ball 1. All 3 balls put in play by the Cubs have been greater than 100 miles per hour off of the bat. Rizzo continues that trend. Into right center field. He's headed for second with a double. Contreras stopping at third.
Ball up, and Rizzo getting back onto the plate. The back must be starting to feel good, starting to sight the ball a little better out of the pitcher's hand. It's the second time he's hit the ball over in that gap. This time makes it the second.
Still just 1 out, and Addison Russell, who drove in the Cubs' first run with a 2-out single in the 4th, is the hitter. Strike one. Tries to lay off the fastball, but can't. And Buehler has him in an 0-2 hole.
Big 3 shots at trying to strike him out, preserve this lead. Like to see his slider low and away right here. Make it look like a fastball away for a strike and walk him off the plate.
Like that. No swing though.
Outstanding pitch, other than where it originated. A little bit for the hitter's eye that's a ball instead of a strike originally. And as wide as it was, you can see, boy, I think he went. But you can see that still had to anticipate a strike with the velocity that Walker throws. I think he'd come back with the same pitch.
Second and third, one out. Here's a 2-2. Left over the plate, lifted to center. This should tie the game. Contreras heads home. Rizzo for third. It's 3-3.
Came back with the same pitch, but it just didn't break. Sometimes with a breaking ball, slider or curveball, you go to throw a better one, it slips out and it kind of backs up on him. So it ends up looking like a strike, ending up a strike. Makes it a lot easier on the hitter.
So a 2 out and a man at third. Buehler gets ready to face the pinch hitting Tommy La Stella. Strike one.
Walker's got to block out the disappointment of not preserving Clayton Kershaw's win. He knows the sting of that as a starting pitcher in his past and as a big leaguer. It's always a nice piece of icing on the cake when you get a good outing and get that W. When the bullpen gives it up, the starter feels that sting. As a good team guy, you don't say anything, but Walker knows the sting.
Corresponding move to Buehler's activation was Josh Fields placed on the DL. Sore shoulder for him. 0-2. Sales, and it's 1-2. Dodgers are single runs in the second, the third, and the fourth today. Cubs getting 1 in the fourth and 2 here in the sixth against Buehler. And his return from the DL. Good stop by Barnes, 2-2. Down the line, foul. Season series tied at 3. Game tied at 3. '20th pitch of the inning from Buehler, and La Stella fouls it again.
Clayton Kershaw did it. Now Walker Buehler is doing it, knocking off the rough edges at the big league level instead of in a minor league rehab stint. But both of them, I would take them both here. Not completely ready compared to other people.
Ground ball right side. Muncie knocks it down, recovers, and steps on the bag in time to get La Stella. The Cubs with a pair against Buehler, tied at 3 to the bottom of the 6th.
Sixth inning, Austin Barnes due up, looking for his 3rd hit of the day. Time now to look ahead, brought to you by Wells Fargo. The Colorado Rockies coming into town tonight for a 3-game set beginning tomorrow. And Friday, of course, always fireworks here at Dodger Stadium. And Saturday, it's the Puigi Bank. Remember, that's an earlier start, a 4:15 start. That one exclusively on Fox. And then Sunday, it's Junior Dodgers Justin Turner jersey shirt. A lot of great giveaways continuing here all season long. And as far as the rotation is concerned for that series, it's Anderson against Hill on Friday, Marquez and Maeda on Saturday, and then Chad Bettis and Ross Stripling Sunday.
All right, Alana, and here is Barnes against Quintana. You mentioned it, already 2 hits today for him. Brand new ball game. Fresh start, tied at 3. Pops it into short right. Ian Happ for the first out. Oh, the Cubs coming back and tying the game. You start to look back at the missed opportunities for the Dodgers today. 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
They have had some traffic and have set the table. They're again looking to eat a little bit more as Walker Buehler strides to the plate, showing that he's going to extend his outing.
Quintana threw 5 1/3 on only 76 pitches. The last 4 outs, he's only needed 7 pitches for those 4 outs. Steve Cishek warms. Other than 2. This is after he was really struggling to find the zone over the first couple innings when he issued 3 walks. Couple of 20-pitch innings to start the day. Much more efficient since. There's 1-2. Smack past the mound. Could be a tough play. Rizzo throws late. Buehler's got an infield single.
Well, Walker breaks out of the box, but now right about here he's sniffing a base hit, especially if you see nobody covering first. Very good athlete at fielding his position, but right here showing off his wheels.
Well, the top of the order coming up. Go ahead, run on base. And it looks like Chris Taylor is going to face Steve Cishek. So Joe Madden to make a change. Cishek out of the bullpen in a 3-3 game in the 6th.
Ends an off day on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Plus, bullpen coach Mark Pryor returns to Wrigley Field and looks back on his playing career with the Cubs. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, tomorrow after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
As part of a double switch, Jason Heyward comes in. He's in right and will be due up third next inning. Steve Cishek on to pitch.
Much tougher against righties than lefties. Righties only hitting 155 off of him. Lefties hitting 222, so Chris Taylor has a challenge in front of him.
Happ slides over to third. Baez goes where he's been the whole time. Second. Ball one on Chris Taylor. Taylor doubled on the first pitch of the day against Quintana. Since then, a strikeout and a line out in his first game back. Chops this one to third. That's a fair ball. Happ to his feet, throws him out. Best defensive team in baseball. And Ian Happ, 2 pitches after moving from right field, makes this play at third.
It's a ridiculous play for anybody. Nolan Arenado, Justin Turner. Happ shows him how to do it. Some exceptional play at third base from the Cubs this series.
Buehler into scoring position, and with 2 out, it's Kike Hernandez. The only guy that's been able to come through with men in scoring position today. And he's done it twice. RBI single in the second, RBI double in the fourth. Sharp slider. Can't get it. 0-2. Good take on a fastball that's hard to lay off of. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now on a 1-2, Hernandez swings and misses at that same slider for strike 3. To the 7th we go, tied at 3. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Back at Dodger Stadium, getting geared up for the 7th inning. Tied at 3. Walker Buehler giving up 2 runs in the 6th after Kershaw went 5 and held the Cubs to 1.
It's a good day to pick up a new Dodger lid with the sun shining down. Protect your eyes.
Saw some Minnie Mouse, Dodger-clad Minnie Mouses, Minnie Mice, Minnie.
Whatever your favorite color is or character, there's probably an opportunity to get it associated with the Dodgers. Mini somebody.
Right. Yeah. Strike 1. I knew that it was a mouse. I just didn't know what the proper form of mouse was in that situation. It didn't sound right coming out. Ian Happ flashed some nice defenses last time out there, and here he crushes a ball to right center field that bangs off the wall. A leadoff double for Ian Happ. And Walker Buehler has not fooled these Cubs through 1+.
Fastball, boy, good job getting on top of 95 miles an hour. Bat in the hitting area a long time and barreling it up. Just glad that one stayed in the park. Got an opportunity to save that run at second.
Kyle Schwarber is hitting 8th today. Cubs in search of their first lead of the afternoon. Trying to get out of Chicago with a series split. Trying to end their road trip on a high note, because it has not been pretty. They were swept in the 4 games in Cincinnati and have dropped the first or 2 of the first 3 here. So 1-6 trip so far. At the knees, strike 1.
Right now, Walker's dealing with some inconsistencies. Sometimes it's in location, sometimes in the ball coming out of his hand the way he wants it to, so the break is what he's expecting. Get through your two-seam fastball, it's going to be a tight and late and sharp break. You kind of pull off it a little bit with your hand or your body. It's going to kind of tail, and it's going to almost double the movement. When you have that inconsistent release, it's hard to really zone in on hitting exact spots.
3-1 on Schwarber.
We saw a little bit of this with Walker when he was called up last year. Just a little anxious to throw the ball a little too early in the delivery, but as he calms down and gets back into the rhythm he was prior to going on the DL, you'll see that form return.
He walks Schwarber, first two aboard for the Cubs against him in the 7th.
Right fielder number 22, Jason Heyward.
As part of the double switch last inning, Heyward came in and right, and so here he is out of the 9 spot. One of the hottest hitters in the National League over the last month at .333. He's turned his season around after tweaking some things during a DL stint for a concussion. And bats here with a chance to put the Cubs in front. Buehler trying to lock it down.
When you go through some tweaking, there's multiple issues that you address, but I think the core issue for Heyward was unlocking that top hand as he grips the bat. It really has looked like it's made his bat faster and more accurate.
Barnes couldn't find it. He did in time to hold the runners.
Barnes couldn't find it, but Happ knows it's between Barnes's legs, and he's not about to take third, even though Barnes didn't know where it was when Happ saw it.
Knew he couldn't find it. Knew if he did, he was in trouble. We've seen things throughout this series as these teams have played 7 times in 10 days. Screech to a halt when a runner gets to second. Eric Goodell starting to loosen, with them being very sure about their signs. In the dirt, 1-1.
Walker needs to find a breaking ball that he can land for a strike and make look like a strike, end up a ball. Cubs hitters are going to start defaulting to only the fastball.
Which he misses with. 2-1.
Huge pitch right here. No out first and second doesn't really bother you, but what really bothers you is bases loaded, no out. And so you don't want to get close to a walk or giving in.
Got some help, didn't he?
He did. He got a lot of help. Breaking ball that he doesn't command, but gets a strike out of it. Now you got to capitalize on that. You see the target down and the check swing up. Strike 2.
So on a big pitch, he winds up getting the result that he wanted. With Almora due next, having homered against Buehler to open his outing. A 2-2. Jason Heyward, 28 years of age, in his 9th major league season already. All-Star as a rookie back in 2010. With men at first and second and nobody out on a 2-2, he rips a ground ball base hit that'll give the Cubs their first lead of the afternoon. Heyward's headed for second with an RBI double, and it's 4-3 Chicago.
It puts him on top, so at this point in the game, this is the Arco top-tier play, and it's Jason Heyward picking on a low pitch. Walker Buehler struggling to find an off-speed pitch for a strike. He's getting roughed up a little bit here in his first outing after coming off the disabled list.
Five hits and a walk. And Eric Goodell continues to warm as Albert Almora comes up. 5 hits and a walk and an inning plus for Walker. That's probably going to do it. Dave Roberts not going to let him face Almora again. A bumpy ride through his first outing back from the DL. And Eric Goodell comes on trying to stop the bleeding. Still nobody out. Runners at second and third.
This is a big job in front of Goodell. Cubs already up by 1. Second and third. You're coming out of a bullpen that so far has failed with Walker Buehler. And his last couple outings have been kind of rocky. 14 of 16 have been scoreless, but of late he's been getting hit around a little bit.
And Albert Almora, who started the comeback against Buehler with a solo home run in the 6th. The man that'll greet Goodell. Schwarber at third and Heyward at second. First pitch of Goodell's day is a curve that misses inside. Ball 1.
Dodger infield halfway, so with no outs, Joe Madden will elect to make the ball go through. Dave Roberts elects to bring the infield halfway to make Joe make that decision.
This curve's popped up. Muncie struggling to find it. Forsythe can't find it either, and it falls. And the Cubs lead 5-3.
Number 9, Javier Baez.
This happens sometimes. It just gets directly in the sun. It's really hard. I thought Logan Forsythe was going to come over and help him out when he saw Muncie struggle at the beginning, but realized that and thought that Max was going to get it.
He might not have even seen it.
Nope. Depending on where that ball was, it can be very tough for a large circle of people looking up into it.
That's an RBI single for Albert Almora. Charge to Buehler. Book not quite closed yet. Heyward at second, his responsibility as well. So now Goodell really having to buckle down to keep the Dodgers in this game with the heart of the order here. And Javier Baez swinging wildly, strike one. Lays the bunt down with Turner back, no play.
You see this bunt laid down, you pretty much, as he's running to first base, say, this guy can do it all. I mean, we've seen him flash the leather. We've seen a rocket arm. We've seen his speed, power, and now he's bunting for hits.
You talk about a tough luck start to your outing. Here Goodell has given up 2 singles in the box score, but a pop up and a bunt hit, and they're loaded up for Wilson Contreras. Strike one. Eight of the last 11 Cubs have reached. And Caleb Ferguson, who Dave Roberts would have liked to have held until tomorrow, getting ready in case this gets out of hand here from Goodell. Strike two.
Huge momentum shift since the end of 5 in the Cubs' direction. If the Dodgers could get out of this bases loaded, no outs, I would consider it a win and a reverse in the momentum.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you still be well within striking distance, especially with the way they've been hitting the home run lately.
Anytime somebody gets on, they're bringing the tying run to the plate. And they're a long way from getting out of this inning, but if you're trying to smell success and where's the formula, it would be huge for them to get out of this.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Goodell's 0-2. Got him with a fastball. He's a step closer from shifting some of the momentum back. One away in the 7th.
Fastball going up the ladder, maybe not to the highest rung where they wanted to go, but still beat him to the spot.
So now Rizzo swings at the first pitch and rolls it foul. Interesting scenario here, and it's not unique to Rizzo or to this situation, but in this day and age where there's a very strong tendency in batted ball data, you see the Dodgers often shift him with a man in short right field. Can't necessarily do that here with the bases loaded. They do put 3 men on the right side of the infield, his pull side, but all legitimately in the infield. He digs it out, sends it to right center field, and breaks this thing wide open. A bases clearing double from Rizzo, and it's 7-3 Cubs. 8-3 Cubs.
Rizzo's hit secures who has the momentum and almost cements the ball game. It's going to be a big climb now. The Dodgers will have 9 outs on offense to catch up. They only have 1 out in this inning and still a Cub in scoring position.
Russell, the 8th man to bat. This Cubs offense has really woken up over these last few days from their 2-week slumber or so. 22 runs in the last 2+ games. Oh, and 2. And for much of this 27-10 run, the bullpen has been as big a part of the story as anything. But this is the 3rd consecutive game where the starter for the Dodgers has left with the lead, and the bullpen has given it up. That ball is crushed, and the onslaught here in the 7th continues as Russell hammers a 2-run home run.
Back up breaking ball, and sometimes the hardest pitches to hit, and sometimes the easiest.
Cishek hitting for himself, hitting a ground ball to short. 2 gone. And this last handful of runs getting charged to Goodell. The first 2 base runners to reach against him came on a pop-up on the infield and a bunt single, opening the door for the real damage to come. And now it's Happ, who started this inning off by doubling against Buehler. Edward Paredes.
Ten-game homestand with no off days. July 5th, the Dodgers will head down to Anaheim for a game the next day.
Dribbler that Goodell will hope goes foul, and it does.
It's a good choice right there. No chance to throw him out. Let it roll foul with the spin. With Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt now, because they have to wait till the 5th for that off day, will judiciously put the work out in this game to try and lengthen the bullpen as far as health and who's available. This is where you talk about how do we patch this together.
Second day in a row, by the way, that the Dodgers have given up a new season high runs in an inning. 6-run sixth yesterday was the most in an inning this year, and one more here in the 7th. Cubs plating 7 to break the 3-3 tie. Happ strikes out swinging, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs have broken this one open.
Dodger calendar, and Friday night fireworks tomorrow night against the Rockies, and then we continue on in this homestand as Pittsburgh comes to town for the holidays. Fireworks on the 3rd and 4th against those Pirates, and I know the Dodgers are hoping to have some offensive fireworks in their direction, not like they faced from the Cubs in the 7th.
Justin Turner starts the Dodger half of the 7th and looks at strike one. Steve Cishek, second inning of work for him. Even got to hit on top of this inning as the Cubs brought 10 men to the plate. Turner hits a fly ball to center field that sends Almora back shy of the warning track for the first out of the 7th. You know, the discussion in May became how bad the National League West was, at least until the Dodgers got hot. And the narrative kind of was that the division was so bad that the Dodgers were able to stick around. That's been turned upside down in June. The 3 best records in the National League are all in the West. The Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and even the Giants have been very good in June. 3rd best record in the NL. With one out, here's Kemp. Diamondbacks have won 7 of 8. 21-8 over their last 29 games.
Paul Goldschmidt, better pitching.
Giants are tied at 5 right now with the Rockies in the 6th inning. They're looking for their 8th win out of their last 9.
All of a sudden there's a little more competition as the trade deadline looms, as far as people making phone calls and maybe hunting the same type of players.
Every market is different, right? There are characteristics of each year's deadline market. Interesting thing this year is that starting pitching, which is normally of highest demand, there really are no clear-cut trade pieces. Yes, Jacob deGrom and Noah Syndergaard if the Mets decide to go that route, but that's a big if. There are no rentals that are aces. Both those guys under control multiple years, so the Mets less likely to deal them. plenty of mid-range starters. You know, think Cole Hamels, Jay Happ, guys like that that are 2 through 4 in the rotation. But there aren't any game-changing rentals like you look at Justin Verlander last year for the Astros.
And we got Yu Darvish. You know, what's interesting is that, you know, with the culture of baseball changing, that would be a huge thing in past cultures. But now you can thicken your bullpen.
Kemp grounds to short. Russell up with it. 2 out.
You know, if you have 2 really good starters at the time that are hot or have great resumes and are going to get those starts, and your 3rd and 4th starters you're not quite as confident in, but you know what? You're really happy about the way your bullpen is. Pulling your starter in the 2nd inning or 3rd inning in a playoff game is not against the grain.
Muncie with 2 out. Yeah, and baseball in its simplest form is collecting 27 outs. Whether that's done with a focus on the front of those 27 outs or the back, that's kind of shifting. And so you're right, when teams are looking at it and saying maybe we can't get that ace that's going to get us 7 or 8 in a postseason game, maybe you look the other way and you try to get 3 more outs out of the bullpen. You get 1 more elite bullpen arm. And this market definitely leans that way with the pitchers that are available.
It might be the key setup guy you get. It might be that middle reliever or borderline starter that you can get 2 innings out of in a playoff game.
Brad Hand in San Diego is a name that has been on the market the last couple years. Figured could be on the move this year. Zach Britton in Baltimore. 2 guys that almost looked like sure things to move last year, but didn't. So who knows? I mean, we look at him as pretty much sure things this year, but thought the same thing last year. Full count.
And you know, if the guy you go get is really just a 1-inning pitcher, it does still lengthen your bullpen if the guys they're bumping out of that 8th inning or 7th inning are able to go long. So maybe Pedro Baez, who used to only go 1 inning, now Pedro becomes the guy who can go 2, or a Josh Fields, where all of a sudden you do go get that unbelievable piece that is, you know, the Scott Alexander type. He's a 1-inning guy. You're not going to really ask him to go much farther than that, but you're getting that high-end guy that backs somebody else up that can go 2 innings.
After the Muncie walk, Bellinger bats with 2 out. The position player market is a different story. Headlined, of course, by Manny Machado. You hear just about every team connected to Machado. Different rumors. None more than these 2 teams. And you can make an argument for these 2 teams and many other teams why it doesn't make sense to acquire Machado. But a player of that level, where it's a top 3 or 4 player in all of baseball, it doesn't really matter how it fits necessarily. You know that he's going to help the team that's able to go get him. Bellinger lines out to Heyward. The 7th inning ends with the Dodgers in a big hole. Before this 8th inning, let's check into the guys in studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. A really good outing today for Clayton Kershaw, but Jerry's a rough one for Walker Buehler in his return from the DL.
Walker looked a little rusty. The Cubs took advantage of it.
Dodgers need a touchdown. We're going to hear from the skipper, Dave Roberts, coming up right after the game.
All right, guys, a couple defensive changes to report to you. Jock Peterson in the game in left, and Hernandez slides over from left to right. Matt Kemp comes out. Caleb Ferguson comes in.
4 starts, a relief appearance. The relief appearance is actually his best, and he continues to say, which happens to all of us, the game is slowing down for him the more he's out there.
This outing starts with Kyle Schwarber swinging and missing on a fastball. Yeah, it was big time Saturday in relief of Clayton Kershaw in New York. 4 shutout innings in his first big league win. And knocks the mask off Barnes. Alan Porter will give him a moment. More than 50,000 this afternoon. Schwarber gets hit. And the leadoff man on in the 8th.
Number 22, Jason Heyward.
Here's Heyward. On in a double switch a couple of innings ago. Doubled and scored. Here it bounces one back to Ferguson, who gets onto the flat ground, gets the out at second. Ball comes out on the transfer. And Forsythe limping after the slide from Schwarber.
Pretty routine right from here, but then when Logan doesn't get it out of his hand, he's reaching back for the ball, which doesn't take his foot off the base, and then it stays there close enough for Schwarber and some spikes to get him.
Number 5, Albert Almora Jr.
Painful result, but a clean slide.
Definitely a clean slide, and just the foot's in the wrong place because the ball got slipped out.
Albert Almora with a man on and 1 out. 24-year-old in his second full major league year takes ball 1. We're talking about Manny Machado, and the Cubs have been connected to him. Well, Albert Almora, lifelong friends with Manny Machado. He's a groomsman at Machado's wedding. They call each other cousins. Guys grew up together in Florida. Well, Almora became the 6th overall pick of the Cubs in 2012. It was Theo Epstein's very first pick running the Cubs. Two balls, 2 strikes. Seen some very mature at bats, but we've also seen him channel his inner Javier Baez a couple times in this series.
Yes. Dropping down to 1 knee right there is a little Adrian Beltre.
Bouncing ball that Muncie charges, makes a nice play on, takes it to the bag, 2 out. What do you think of Adrian Beltre as an interesting trade piece for the Rangers?
I could see a veteran bat like that being attractive, not going to melt down.
Be a great guy to be able to bring off of the bench for key AB.
You might even give him a start in certain situations when it was somebody he matches up well with.
2 out. Javier Baez hits. Takes ball 1. Javi has a baby boy coming. Actually, next week is the due date. He and his fiancee, Irma Marie, they met when they were in 7th grade. They're now expecting their first child, so congratulations to them. Met in 7th grade, didn't start dating though until a year after they graduated from high school. Javi claims he's always known they'd get married. 2-1. Got a small wedding planned in December back home in Puerto Rico. Ferguson's 2-1 on the inside corner for strike 2.
After the last swing, you saw Javi up there with kind of shimmy shaking his shoulders and his chest. He's always trying to get that necklace / medallion in the right place before he starts his swing. Right there down the center of his jersey.
I thought you were going to say he was practicing his wedding dance moves.
Oh, or Dancing with the Stars, maybe. Candidate. No, just watched it throughout the 2 series, the one in Wrigley and the one here, where he always wants to get that necklace in the exact right place before he starts on defense or on offense in the batter's box.
Grounds one up the middle that will sneak through for a base hit and bring home Jason Heyward. 3rd hit of the day for Baez, who's going to finish the regular season against the Dodgers 14 for 26.
Catcher Wilson Contreras.
You put him in the Hall of Fame the way he's played in these 2 series. Absolutely ridiculous. A lot of fun to watch, but even more fun if he wasn't in that uniform.
I think fans of any team would agree he would look good in our colors, whatever team that would be. Strike 1 on Contreras. Well, the more and more he does what he's doing to the Dodgers, the more and more he's going to be one of those guys that you absolutely love him if you're a Cubs fan, and he really gets under your skin if you're not. And I'm sure that's just how he'd like it. It's a compliment.
He plays the game with such passion and exuberance that it just comes out of every pore of him, and that makes him fun to watch.
That was always him growing up. And he says he started to let it show more as he's produced more, get more comfortable in the bigs. Ferguson strikes out Contreras. The Cubs add 1 in the 8th and lead at 11-3. Hope they're still enjoying their day. preview brought to you by Mercedes-Benz for tomorrow night's series opener against the Colorado Rockies. Tyler Anderson goes for Colorado. Rich Hill, very good 2 starts ago, not quite as good in New York. It's ready to face potent Rockies lineup.
Well, the strikeouts were about the same, which was 1 an inning in the last 2 starts, but the second to last start gave up a few more hits and got hit a little harder. The location was a little bit more up.
But the beard still perfect. Chase Utley to pinch hit, leading off this 8th against Luke Farrell. And Logan Forsythe's spot. And Forsythe taking that slide that clearly brought some pain, and the right-handed reliever out there. A perfect chance for Dave Roberts to get Utley an at-bat. He's gone 2 for 5 in his couple of games since returning from the month stint on the DL with the thumb injury. Ball and a strike.
Chase Utley has never been one to look like he is anxious in the box. Always very good at relaxing. You watch the easy practice swings. He knows that relaxed arms and hands, it's going to make the bat quicker. Has trusted his hands throughout his whole career.
Works it full. Against Luke Farrell, pitched in last night's game and put up a scoreless inning despite a hit and a walk. Popped up on the infield. That bright sunshine. Contreras puts it away, 1 out.
A lot of times you'll see third baseman field this ball, but Happ couldn't see it at first. Contreras caught it late, but was closer and got it done. It was not easy.
It was really bright today.
It was not easy at all. We saw Muncie lose one up there in the sky.
Austin Barnes, one of the bright spots this afternoon. Taking strike 1 from Farrell. He's got 2 hits. He scored 2 of the 3 runs. Barnes' first multi-hit game since May 19th. The second game of the doubleheader in Washington that day. And only his 3rd multi-hit game of the year. Two and two. Barnes hits a fly ball to center field for Albert Almora, and the second out of the 8th. Kind of a similar story to yesterday when the Dodgers got a lot of offense early and then not much after. Yesterday the pitching held up in a 7-5 win, but today the bullpen allowing 10 runs.
Well, in this series, the Cub offense has come late, and it's mostly been, of course, against the Dodger bullpen. 18 of the 25 runs they've scored in this series have come from the 6th inning on.
First time up there today for Jock Peterson and his 10 home runs in June. Big curve, strike one. Quickly 0-2. Fly to right field. Heyward sprints on and finishes a 1-2-3/8 for Farrell. Still enjoying a day in the sunshine. On to the ninth.
Even better. Start your weekend off at Dodger Stadium when the Dodgers host the Colorado Rockies tomorrow. Stay tuned after the game and get rocking with Friday night fireworks set to a Grateful Dead mix, courtesy of Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Second inning of work for Caleb Ferguson. You're on June 28th. It's the 10-year anniversary today of the Dodgers' 1-0 win in a game where they were no hit. Jared Weaver, Jose Arredondo. Dodgers get no hit but win 1-0. Fifth inning of that game, it was Matt Kemp who bounced back to Weaver. Weaver threw it away. It allowed Kemp to reach. Stole second. He took third on a throwing error on the steal as Jeff Mathis cut it loose and it got away. And then Blake DeWitt hit a sacrifice fly. So they get no hit and win 1-0 on this date 10 years ago. Rizzo flies one towards the left field corner. Peterson with the misread on that. And Rizzo stays alive at 2-2.
It would be easy to pin the blame on Jock Peterson there, but I'm going to pin it on the sky. It seems like any ball up in the air today, people are really struggling with. It has been bright. The ball seems to be finding the big fire in the sky as far as getting in the vision, and that one, the curve in the sky got him.
1-0 win despite getting no hit. Chad Billingsley went 7. Broxton an inning. Saito an inning. Not officially a no-hitter though, because for Major League Baseball to recognize it, it's got to be at least 9 innings. That's in front of Peterson, and Rizzo is aboard to start the 9th. It's the 5th time in Major League history that that's happened. A team got no hit and won. Here's Russell. Goes by Addison Russell. His given name is Jeffrey O'Neill Addison Robert Watts Jr. III. Can you fit that on your scorecard?
No.
His mom got the Addison idea from Bruce Willis's character David Addison on Moonlighting, TV show. And officially Addison Wayne Russell in honor of the man who raised him and then legally adopted him. So that's what the official name is now. From Jeffrey O'Neill Addison Robert Watts Jr. III to Addison Wayne Russell. Ferguson gets him swinging with a curve, 1 out.
Pitcher number 59, Farrell.
Luke Farrell hits for himself. He takes strike 1. Dodgers, barring a miracle in the bottom of the 9th, would fall to 3.5 back of the Diamondbacks. Cubs would climb to within 2 of the Brewers. Most of these teams, of course, favorites coming into the season to win the division. And I think if you polled the same people that tabbed them as favorites prior to the year, you'd probably get these two as favorites at this point too, even though they're both facing deficits. Although, like we talked about, it appears Arizona has stabilized things, 21-8 in their last 29 games, after they went 2-15 to finish May. That's strike 3 and 2 out. You knew Paul Goldschmidt wasn't going to slump the way that he was for too much longer.
Yep.
He's carried the offense.
It's interesting if you pose the question another way. Of all the teams you thought were going to be in the playoffs from the beginning, you still have Washington as your favorite. You still have Chicago as your favorite. You still have LA as your favorite. But which one of those that you have as your favorite is at the highest risk of not doing it? That might be the team that goes out and gets help.
Fly to center field. Bellinger runs under it, and Happ the final out of the top of the 9. Interesting question, I think. Texas, Anthony Rizzo, when the game was still tight, cleared the bases with a double as part of that 7-run seventh.
Cubs have been looking for his bat to wake up, and along with his bat, the whole offense is woken up here in LA.
Chris Taylor will lead off the bottom of the ninth. For the Dodgers get ready to welcome in the Rockies over the weekend, and then the Pirates for 3 next week. It's a pretty nice setup on this schedule through the All-Star break. Alano was detailing that for us earlier in this series. Taylor pops the first pitch of the ninth up to short right field. They battle the sun. Heyward's got it spotted, and he makes the catch. The Dodgers don't leave Southern California until the beginning of the second half.
Field number 14, Hernandez.
With one out, here's Hernandez. 2 for 4 with a pair of RBIs. Now, the trip to open the second half, which when the schedule came out looked like a pretty easy way to begin. Not necessarily easy, but not a difficult trip. That now looks like a very tough beginning to the second half. Dodgers open the half with a 10-game trip that goes 3 with first place Milwaukee, 3 with second place Philadelphia, 4 with first place Atlanta, then back home with 3 with the Brewers, and 3 with the Astros. And when you get through that, you're in mid-May or mid-August. Two and one.
And it could be a defining road trip. It could be a defining portion of the schedule. The good thing is that they are getting healthier by the day. Dave Roberts has had such an even hand through the early turmoils and now the turnaround, and has always thought, I have a lot of confidence in my team. I have a lot of confidence that we're going to be at the top when it's all over with.
Looks like Puig could get an at-bat here in the ninth inning if it gets that far. It's interesting. Some of the Dodgers' strategy going into the deadline is going to depend on what these guys coming off of the DL look like, because it's hard right now to completely evaluate what you need. You know when guys are going to come back. You know some of them already have, but in some cases you don't know exactly what they're going to look like. That's a walk.
It has been very refreshing to have 2 starts back from Rich Hill and not talk about blisters. He's come out of those starts very, very well. He'll have his 3rd tomorrow.
1 on, 1 out, 9th inning. Turner comes up. Very encouraging stuff today from Clayton Kershaw to start to get a firmer answer on what he's going to look like. Couldn't draw too much information from his 3 innings Saturday in New York, but 1 run over 5 today.
Command was a lot sharper. Both breaking balls were working exceptionally well, the curveball and the slider. And was his tough self. He'd blow his neck a lot when somebody gets on. They were only 1 for 8 with runners on. Seems like a long time since he left the game.
Sure does. All that damage coming after he did. 2 in the 6th, 7 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. You figured you had it lined up pretty well with Walker Buehler piggybacking him, but Walker's first outing off of the DL. Not as sharp.
And if we could do it all over again, and you said Clayton's going to start and Walker's going to back him up, I'd still take it. It's not going to happen a lot in his career. It may happen on the first outing when he comes back from a DL again, but he has been on such a quick and steep learning curve, and the way he's putting his big league career together, I have a lot of confidence that Walker's going to be around for a long time and be an exceptional pitcher.
Two to Turner. He corks a high drive, deep left field. That ball's gone. Turner's fourth.
With Kike on, Justin goes deep, and we talked earlier in the game about the valuable bat of Kike Hernandez, that he will get other people rest. He might get Justin Turner some rest at times and keep that wrist in a powerful form like that home run.
Puig will pinch hit. With 2 games left in June, the Dodgers have tied the franchise record for the most homers in a calendar month. 2 games left, and within 5 of the all-time record for any team. Been done twice. The Mariners did it in the late 90s, and the Orioles did it last year. Farrell to Puig, 1-1. Pop up on the infield, which has been an adventure today, but Russell has this one spotted, and the Dodgers down to their last out. Wow.
"31 pitches must be his max."
Gonna get Morrow batter. 11-5 ninth inning, and Joe Madden will bring on Brandon Morrow. Joe Madden calls on Brandon Morrow, who will make his first appearance off of the disabled list, not wanting this game to end without him getting an opportunity to shake off a little bit of the rust.
They really give him a nice soft landing here. Pitch count will be completely under control, only having to get 1 out. And I sarcastically talked about Farrell. His pitch count at 31 must be his max. Well, this is a very nice move by Joe Madden for the Cubs to get their closer off the DL and give him a little experience before they bring him into pressure situations.
Huge element for the Dodgers during their run to the pennant last year. Facing Max Muncie. Caught up in late May. It really is dictated not by his performance in AAA, but by a clause in his contract where he could opt out if he wasn't called to the major leagues before then. So the Dodgers brought him up to see what they had, and we all know what he became for this team. Ground ball right side, sneaks through. 2-out hit for Max Muncie. He's been on 4 times today, improving his National League best OPS. So he leads the National League in OPS, which is on base plus slugging. He's 4th in the majors. Mookie Betts is 1. Mike Trout is 2. JD Martinez is 3. And then Max Muncie.
All-star candidate. Has to be considered now.
It definitely has become that. Strike one on Bellinger.
Kenley Jansen now 18 for 18 in his last 18 save opportunities. Ross Stripling. Max Muncie. Matt Kemp as a starter.
Last chance here for Bellinger to extend the season best 6-game hitting streak. Well, there was a while there early on when they were 10 games below 500 where you were searching to try and find who that lone all-star may be.
Exactly. And at that time it could have been maybe Yasmani Grandal, Matt Kemp.
Fly to deep center. Now Mora's drifting back. Warning track with room, and that's how this one ends. The Dodgers settle for a split in this 4-game series with the Cubs.
Well, they'll change opponents tomorrow, and then in a few more days get another one. This homestand continues. It'll be a total of 10 games. Splitting it so far, looking to have a winning homestand the rest of the way.
For Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium, where the Cubs win this one by a final of 11-5. The Rockies in town open up that 3-game series tomorrow night. For now, stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.